Have you considered ever quitting social media? If you're watching this video, you're probably considering quitting your social media page, especially as a content creator, specifically as a small content creator. A lot of the videos I've seen about quitting social media as a content creator of recent has been mostly from bigger creators. Creators coming out to say that I quit social media, I'm tired of YouTube, I quit Instagram, I quit TikTok, and so on and so forth. So I thought to myself, I might as well just make a video about quitting social media because that is exactly what I've done in the past 6 months. For the past 6 months, I quit Instagram and TikTok and Twitter. And yeah, those are my active social media platforms. In this video, I'll be sharing with you my real stats, showing you pictures of what my stats look like, especially as a small content creator. And I'll also be sharing with you my experience and my take on quitting social media and how you can effectively quit social media without jeopardizing your career as a content creator. Hola. Hi friends and welcome back to the channel. This is Tinola, and if you're just seeing this hot chocolate for the first time, hey, right here I share valuable content, so if you like the vibe, please consider subscribing down below. Alright, let's jump right into the things that I've learned from quitting social media in the past 6 months. Like I said, as a small content creator, now I don't like using the word small because it's just not the vibe we're going for, so I prefer using the word growing content creator. But for the sake of context in this video, let's stick with the term small content creator. I mean, if your followers are less than, let's say, 20,000 followers or less than 30,000 followers across your social media platforms, then you can consider yourself to be a micro influencer or a smaller size content creator. Now, in terms of you quitting social media, there are a number of reasons why you might want to quit social media. Maybe you're tired of the apps, maybe it's affecting your mental health or your physical well-being, maybe you're just very busy, or you just need a reset, a refresh of your memory, of your creativity. You just need something new. You want to connect to real life more and more. You want to get into your touch grass era like I did. Well, whatever reason you have for quitting social media, the first thing I want to clarify is that it is valid. Your reason for quitting social media is valid because social media, as you know, comes with its good and bad sides. Even as content creators, we are under this impression that we cannot survive, we cannot thrive as a brand, as a content creator without social media. But that's not true. And I'll explain to you why you can actually have an exit plan out of social media, why you can survive and thrive as a brand, as a content creator without social media, and how to go about this. So once again, whatever reason you have for wanting to quit social media is valid because you know your reason. And what I would say is write it down. Write it out whenever you've taken that decision to quit social media. Write down your thoughts and why you want to quit these apps. Write down how effective these apps are for you. Take screenshots of what your stats look like at the moment before you quit social media. These are check boxes to go through before quitting social media. You need to identify if you're still going to be creating content in this period that you wouldn't be on social media. Now, you could quit social media for a week, for a month, for 6 months, for a year, for whatsoever amount of time that you need to be off social media. That's your choice to decide, right? But for me, I decided to quit social media for a longer period of time. Ideally, I wanted to quit it for 9 months. That's for the rest of the year. But I decided to go with 6 months. And I'll explain to you why that's the case. Before quitting social media, I had a couple of challenges. Actually, I was struggling with my concentration, my memory. It was going really bad, my focus. And that was affecting me in school. That was affecting me in my relationships with people, in my quality of life, in real life. It was affecting me. So I decided to, reconnect to reality and just touch grass in that period. Just tell myself, you know what, let's get off the screen, let's get off the app for this period of time, and let's focus on other things that we need to focus on. So I picked a couple of things to focus on. I listed them out and I worked on them aggressively. So for example, one of the things that I focused on in this period was on my YouTube channel. Now, I know what you're thinking. Is YouTube not social media? No, it's not. YouTube is not social media. YouTube is a multifaceted platform, but it's not social media. YouTube is a media source. Once again, it's not social media. When you look at the way these apps are designed and how you use them, I go over so many reels, so many pages on TikTok and on Instagram within such a short period of time compared to YouTube. By the time you click on a video on YouTube and you go through some ads, or even if you don't have ads, if you use the premium account, you still go through some of those videos. The way the formatting is, the way the UI is, the way the platforms are completely different. And I do not use YouTube as I use social media. So it's not the same thing. You can still create on YouTube. You can still use YouTube without feeling like you're using social media. There's a lot of overlay with YouTube and social media, but personally, I don't feel the same when I use these apps. That being said, I decided I was going to focus on YouTube to grow my audience on YouTube, because YouTube is my main platform anyway as a content creator, and that can look a little bit different for you. For you, it could be you focusing on maybe one platform out of all the platforms you use. That way you're not distributing all your effort and energy on all these platforms. You're only consuming a lesser time on the screen on a particular platform, and you're able to focus on that platform and really optimize it for your content, for your brand. Now with YouTube, I was very happy to do this because it's the second largest search engine, and YouTube is just that platform where you post something today, 5 years, 10 years from now, you can still get the benefits of that same post. You don't get the same thing from places like Instagram or TikTok. Although I would say that TikTok is doing a very good job these days with their search engine, but it's still not the same thing. Other things I focused on in this period of no social media is the back end of my content on my brand, also building other skills and putting other things in place to help me build my brand. For example, optimizing my website. I did 2 coaching programs in that period, very intensive. I was obviously able to focus more in school and just be more present in real life and really enjoy the moment. I was living in the moment and I loved it for me. Honestly, it almost feels like luxury to say I'm quitting social media as a content creator, because your livelihood depends on this. So not everyone can say that they can quit social media, but that's why I'm also making this video, because once again, as a small content creator, you can quit social media. And I know it might sound a little bit more difficult for smaller content creators, because you're like, the bigger guys already have the following, they've already made the money, so if they quit social media for a year, they'll still be fine, they'll still have the income coming in. But for smaller creators, it's like, oh, I am just getting started, oh, I am just getting my foot in the door. This is not the best time to quit social media. That's a lie. There is really no best time to quit social media. The bigger guys, the bigger content creators you see quit social media at some point, they also had a lot at stake. Trust me, they do. So there's no better time to quit social media than when it's right. You would always know when it's right. I knew when it was right for me, and I took that break. Your break can be 1 week. It can be 10 days. It can be 1 month. Like I said, you get to decide when you want to take that break and for how long you want to take that break. But the first thing you need to do is to actually give yourself that permission, because we always feel like we need to get permission from other people. And that's the other thing I want to touch on when it comes to quitting social media. Do you have to tell your audience you're quitting the app or no? Personally, initially, I thought about telling my audience that I was going to go on this, period where I was going to be off Instagram and TikTok for a while. But then I thought about it. Posting something like that on my Instagram page just seemed a little bit dramatic. So I thought, you know what? I'm not going to do that. What I did instead was to set an automated message, which I think is so important. If you plan to quit social media for a period of time, set up an automated message indicating that you're not available on social media at the moment and you'll be away for a period of time. You can set the time you'll be away for if you want to. If not, that's fine. But also indicate where they can contact you and reach out to you. This is very important, because if you want to quit social media and get an exit plan to divert your audience to another platform, this is so important. Make sure to specify where you want them to reach out to you. For example, I specified there that people could reach out to me on my newsletter, on my YouTube channel. I'll be available and I'll still be posting content. So they knew that my newsletter and YouTube was available. Now, that's going to bring my core audience to these platforms. that's also going to help me grow these platforms. It's going to help me focus on where I want to focus on and bring in my audience to that platform. So if you're scared of missing out on your friends, people that care about you on social media, people that want to contact you or reach out to you, you can indicate all of that in an automated message, including your email. That's very important, because if brands are reaching out to you, they need to have your email if it's not already in your bio anyway. But it was so important for me to do this automated message, and I just said it once and I never checked. Okay, I actually checked. I checked just once. I checked about 2 months ago actually, just to see if everything's still going on fine, because I'm like, I put this on and I never looked back. So the name of the website for the automated message is called ManyChats. You probably know it by now. If you don't, I'm going to leave a link in the description box. But that really comes handy. Once again, you want to specify clearly where you want your audience to find you. If you're not going to be on Twitter for a while, if you're not going to be on Instagram, TikTok for a while, but you want them to find you on your blog, on your website, make sure to specify that so that they can actually find you there. Make sure your links are active in your bio so that when they click on it, they can still reach you. They can still reach your website, your links all together. Those checkboxes are essential when you're planning to quit social media. Now, let's talk a little bit about stats and the things that I lost quitting social media, because that is what we fear the most. We fear losing all our followers. First of all, I want to say that I wasn't expecting so many people to message me, but I did get a couple of messages from my community, people that truly cared and wanted to check up on me, which I really appreciate. For every one of you that did that, thank you so much. I love you guys and you rock. So of course, a couple of people would reach out to you. But one thing I really like about that break is also looking at the quality of your community. When you're constantly showing up on social media, sometimes you feel like, you have a lot of friends, you have a strong community, but just give it time, disappear for a week and see if people will actually remember you. I think that's daunting for a lot of people. That's probably why a lot of people don't want to quit social media. The fear of missing out, the fear of being forgotten, right? You don't want to be forgotten. Trust me, you will be just fine. Let's talk about a little bit of stats. So this is my stats when I quit social media, and this is my stats now as of today. If you look at things, there isn't that much difference, which was actually very surprising for me because I was expecting to lose like 1,000 followers. I didn't. Once again, as a smaller content creator, it's very important for you to have a very strong community, people that actually care about your content and connect with your content. When they do, even if you go off social media for a week, a month, or even 6 months or a year, you might not lose that many followers. But if you have a bigger audience, of course, the engagement is always lesser. So you can see a huge or a dramatic, change or loss of your followers. I don't know if that makes sense, but it makes sense to me. Anyway, what I noticed is that on Instagram, I didn't lose that many followers because obviously I don't have that many followers on Instagram in the first place. They are mostly people that really connect with my brand, so they kind of stuck around. For TikTok, I lost a couple of followers, but then I also gained a couple of followers. And the funny thing is I gained them from the search engine. TikTok's search engine been doing things these days because what? People actually search for keywords or topics or whatever the case is, and they found my TikTok and they followed. So that was actually very surprising for me. And it was also surprising that I lost a lot of followers, but then I gained a lot of followers. I think what helped me to still gain some followers aside the search engine on TikTok is the fact that I was active on YouTube. So being active on another platform while you're away from social media, maybe it's your blog post or a Facebook group or a Pinterest page, whatever page, a newsletter, whatever you want to be active on, I think it also helps. So that way you're not completely detached from creating content, because creativity is a muscle, is a workflow. You have to get into that workflow and stay within that workflow to keep things moving. Because when you detach from that workflow for a very long period of time, it can feel hard, very rickety, very weird coming back. You can quickly get out of touch from your community and from content creation in general if you stay too long away from social media. So that's something that I want to emphasize on. Anyway, I hope everything I'm saying is making sense in one way or the other. The other thing I want to specify is in terms of revenue. In terms of revenue, I actually gained more revenue on YouTube when I was away from social media, because obviously I was focusing more on YouTube, so I was able to put out more content and pay more attention to the algorithm, and that just paid off because my revenue grew. Now, don't bother too much about my numbers because my numbers are not that high. But when I say grow, there's definitely growth. It's the highest I've gotten so far in terms of my revenue. In a month, I've been seeing consistent increase in my revenue, which I'm really proud of. I'm really happy about. On YouTube itself, we gained over 3,200 followers in this span. Just putting in minimum efforts, right? Nothing too crazy. I post about 4 videos a month, 1 video a week on an average. Sometimes I push it to 2 videos a week, but mostly it's just 1 video a week. And I'm just really happy to see that I can still thrive, I can still survive without being on social media. I didn't feel the rush to go back to social media, but I'll come back to going back to social media in a sec. Let me just finish off on, the revenue and sponsorships and all that income loss that people complain about when they are away from social media. So aside YouTube revenue, I did get a couple of sponsored emails. I'm not sure why that's the case. I don't think those sponsored emails mostly came from social media. I know 1 or 2 came from social media because I saw them in my DM as well. But thankfully, because I had the automated message on, they were still able to email me. But most of the sponsorship offers I got were actually from companies that saw my YouTube videos. So that's also another thing. That's another benefit of being on YouTube. I think as a content creator, as of today, you should be on YouTube no matter what kind of content you create. Create a YouTube channel. YouTube is sustainable to some extent. YouTube is one of the best platforms you can be on as a content creator. If you don't want to be on YouTube, at least have a website, a newsletter, a blog. Have something more solid, more search friendly than just social media. Trust me, it's going to help you in the long run. But yeah, I think that helped. I also think it depends on my niche. Because my niche is within hair and beauty and wellness, some of these brands were still able to work with me to work here on YouTube. I haven't been doing too many sponsored posts, but the few that I got, because I'm very selective about sponsored posts, but I've been able to get a couple of offers that are reasonable enough. So you might see me do 1 or 2 sponsored posts here and there in the upcoming weeks, but that's just about that. I also want to say that I missed out on some sponsorships because I was not on Instagram. Yes, especially when it comes to skincare. I don't know what it is about Instagram, but a lot of beauty brands actually want you to post on Instagram. Even when you offer to post on YouTube and YouTube Shorts and Pinterest and on your blog, they will still ask you to post on Instagram and TikTok, especially Instagram. So that kind of canceled out on some of my sponsorships that I already had with some skincare brands, but that's okay. How I want you to look at this: if you are planning to quit social media, okay, and you are feeling that sense of FOMO, that sense of fear that you're going to miss out, that you'll be forgotten, or that your brand is not going to thrive, I want you to look at it this way. If you have a friend or you have a couple of friends and they have cars, they drive, and you don't drive, you don't have any car right now. 1 year from now, you get on the road, you have a car, you drive, okay? You're driving on the same road your friends are driving on, the same roads they've been driving on for years. There's no difference between both of you now. Both of you drive right now. Both of you have cars right now. You'll be fine. That's how social media is. I'm seriously telling you this, yo. I logged back into my Instagram account after 6 months, and it feels the same freaking way. There's nothing different. Yes, people's accounts grow in that period, but that's also why I'm emphasizing on you also picking one platform to focus on and to grow. It doesn't even always have to be one platform to focus on and grow. It could be just focusing on a part of your brand, a part of your business that you really want to grow. Just focus on it and grow in that area within that period of social media break. Very important. So everything looks the same on TikTok. Everything looks the same on Instagram. People are still vibing to the same things. There's really no big deal. You will come back. You will catch up. You'll be fine. You will grow your audience. If other people have larger audience than you, that's fine. There's really no competition in this thing called content creation. You have to focus on your focus. You have to focus on your brand. You have to be proud of your work. You have to keep it going. Now, the question comes all the time. Do I have to be on social media as a content creator? The simple, short answer is yes. It helps a lot. Because even in this period of time while I was away from social media, I felt like I didn't suffer. I felt like I was good. But what if I could have gained a lot more? What if I could have still grown my YouTube account? Because remember, there's also a way for you to divert some of your followers from your social media platforms, especially TikTok, to YouTube. So what if my TikTok followers could have helped my YouTube channel even grow a lot more? There are those possibilities, but you always have to be at peace with the choices you make. For me, I am at peace with the choices I made in terms of creating social media, because it really helped me to focus on other areas that I wanted to focus on. It gave me a reset, a new perspective to things, and it's just the best decision for me that I made this year regarding my brand. But for you, I don't know. This video is just to encourage you, in case you're considering creating social media, to let you know that you have the permission to do so, because you have to give yourself that permission. It's not a do or die. It's not an everlasting thing. When you do it, if you feel like you want to be back on social media after a week, you can be back. You're free to make your decisions. But please do not think that as a content creator, you cannot do without social media. You can. And if you need an exit plan, this is where you should start from. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you found this video helpful in one way or the other. Please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. It really helps me put out more videos. Guys, we are almost at 10K. I need you to get to 10K. Please, let's make this a work together. And I'll see you guys in my next video about how social media is destroying us as a society. That video is a very important one. There's a lot we need to talk about in that video. So I'll see you guys in this next video. In the meantime, keep shining.